Welcome back, everyone, to Lore of the Shadow, where today we are heading out in the east wall towards a camp of Rohirrim that we've been asked to help as we head along trying to get information about what may have happened to the Company of the Ring. So far, though, it looks like that I've not yet found the camp, but I have found plenty of orcs and uruks in the area. And the Rohirrim did say that they ran into some orcs as they were trying to set up in the region. So now, let's just go and kill a few along the way. And make sure that they don't just... Oh, hold on. I see a structure up ahead. It looks like it could be the right color for the Rohirrim. So let us just get our friend to help us. And then bash the orc in the face. Yes! That looks like a horse motif. Green on white. Indeed! East Wall Explorer. Mansig's encampment. Ah! And of course the most important thing.
What brings you to these lands?
My feet. Now. Hello.
You're here to help? Thank the Hammerhand for that.
We can use every pair of strong arms that we can get. We rode from Harwick with enough men and horses to investigate the troubling reports of orc activity in the East Wall, but we were not prepared for what we found. As we began pitching our tents and unloading our supplies, we were set upon by a contingent of orcs. The battle was made the fiercer by a sudden joining, and though we drove off the enemy for a time, we suffered many losses. Ask me anything and I will tell you, but if you have a moment, could you see to the comfort of the wounded? Alright, so I need to see to the comfort of the injured Rohirrim in the camp. Let's see, we have... there is an injured man right over here. That's one. And another injured spearman. An injured fighter. And we have here an injured archer. There we go. So to the comfort of injured Rohirrim throughout the camp. I guess that's good. Let's see. Talangaladream and Stankart. Well, let's just set this as one of our camps and everything would be good. Now, all seen to.
You will find work here, if you seek it.
Thank you. Many of those men will need to be borne back to Harwick to rest from their injuries. But until we can return to the wold, we must do what we can for them here. Ask me any questions that you like, and I will answer them as I may. You will find work here if you seek it. We must recover from the orc attack to regain the initiative if we are to succeed in our errand. Right. And we start to get silver tokens of the Ritter Mark. So he has a bunch of questions you can ask. Who leads the band? From where did you come? Obviously Harwick. How did the orc surprise you? I think he explained that. I mean, well. And what can you tell me about this land? I'll tell you the truth, friend. The Rohirrim do not come to this land. Yes, there were often orcs on the far side of the river, and small parties of villains who would cross in order to steal horses from the mark. Something has brought them across in far greater numbers in the last few days. I do not know what. It was not improved my opinion of this place. I see. Well then, let's see, this is starting a quest in the east wall. We need to do how many of them here? It doesn't say yet. Oh well. Complete all of the east walls quests. Oh, it doesn't say how many you need to complete. It just says complete them all. It's a complete package.
Give me 3 good archers from Snowbourne, and I could keep a dozen orcs at bay.
I could keep it at bay even in poor light or foul weather. The bows of my people are well made, but it is the strength of the Rohirrim marcher's arm and the sharpness of his eye that truly makes him dangerous. Orcs are different. Their bows are crudely fashioned, and they seek to make up for their poor training with numbers only. Still, an arrow fired poorly from a hiding place can pierce even the bravest man on occasion. Defeat archers throughout the east wall, Pine Lore, and bring me their bows for breaking. I do not want a stray arrow to fell even a single man more. All right then. That's right. So to avoid this, you send out a hobbit. Now, let's see what we've got. Here is Mansig.
Look at the state of this camp.
My men had not been here for an hour when the band of screaming orcs fell upon us. The walls were not yet up, and some of the warriors were away seeking firewood. The men of Rohan are made of stern stuff indeed, as are their horses. We are not despaired, though we were beset on all sides. My fighting men were able to keep the orcs at bay until the warriors returned. Then it became a rout. Many of the orcs still lurk in the surrounding woods. If you are a friend of the men of Rohan, I ask that you remedy this blight upon the east wall. Wilfrid tells me that there are several types of orc in this area, of different sizes or types, or loyalties. So orc, uruk, it's all the same to me. Remove them, Pine Lore, and I will count you as a friend. So defeat orcs and uruks throughout the east wall. But no goblins, apparently. Does it mean there are no goblins about, or does it mean that he doesn't care whether or not I kill goblins?
I am something of an expert on orcs.
Yes. An expert on orcs? Yes. Yes. Well, yes. Anyway, my captain and I will not forget what happened here, but I have seen more of war than he has. He may have underestimated the orc threat from the east wall, but I will not. I am something of an expert on orcs and have fought them in hundreds of creatures. They come in all shapes and sizes, and the sharp eye can distinguish other differences as well. To many of my people, an orc is an orc, but I can even see subtle differences. I think that we are dealing with several distinct tribes, Pine Lore. Defeat orcs and uruks in the woods of the east wall and collect arrows from their quivers. By studying them, I can determine what tribes we are dealing with here in the east wall. Alright, so I need to defeat 3 orcs and 3 uruks and get their arrows. Apparently the orcs have short arrows and the uruks have long arrows. So now... Oh, I missed this one.
Several of my friends have gone missing. I have not seen them since the attack.
Yes, several of my friends have gone missing. Look for Langmanu and Swiftleech somewhere in the east wall, Pine Lore. I am worried about them. Langmanu is too proud to ask for help if he needs it, and Swiftleech is not as bold as he was in his youth. If my friends are lost and frightened, they will probably seek out the streams or falls that dot the landscape of the east wall. Look for water, and you may be able to find out what happened to my friends. Okay, so I need to find his two friends. And with that, we can head out. So I need to find orcs, uruks. Looks like I have no trouble finding orcs and uruks. I mean, there's one with a bow right there. Okay. Okay, that also counts for the quest to defeat orcs and uruks throughout the East Wall. Let's see. We will wait until they separate and take care of this one first. Whoops. Perhaps I got a little bit too close there. Oh, they don't want to separate. Oh, before they were apart, but now they're inseparable. How cute. Now, let's then take care of this archer over here. Okay, that's 3 of those down. Ooh. An Uruk warrior. So, do I have to take down an Uruk archer of some sort in order to get the bows? I suspect that's going to turn out to be the case. But at least he counts as one of the Uruk. Oh no, I actually got an arrow from him. Okay, good. That's 5 orcs down. Forward! Charge! Okay, that's 6. I still need 1 more Uruk arrow. Well, we also have to make sure that we're not bitten by the swart hound as we're going through here. Well, that's good. See, that's an orc, but just because I've got my quota of orc arrows does not mean that I need to ignore them. I mean, they're orcs. We're at war with them. Of course I bash them. Well, hey, could you show me to where I can find an Uruk? There you go. Ah, thank you. I found them. There you go. Collected bows from orcs and uruks in the east wall. Oh, that's right. Ah, okay. It looks like that we can get arrows from even the warriors, but we can't get bows from them. Why are they carrying arrows if they don't have... Don't ask me. That's just the way it works. This is just to make sure that we don't get surprised by having teeth come through there. Now, let's see. That is... Well, I don't see any... But we are getting arrow shot at me from this guy, so I presume that he has a bow somewhere. I mean, I think I even saw it. There we go. Now that means we have everything we need except finding his friends. So we need to find some water. And I hear a waterfall. Oh. Yep, that is definitely water. We may have to go through 1 or 2 orcs in order to get there. Well, maybe we just follow the stream? Is that the best way to handle it? Let's go and find out. A waterfall. Well, sounds like that's not going to be as easy as I thought. Oh! Well, just chill yourself. And now, let's see. I need to find a way down. I see a horse down there. Well, let's go and investigate that. So the best way down is... Ouch! Oh, there's a horse here also. Hello? You point to Swiftblick in the direction of the... how do I know which horse that was? Don't have any idea. And I saw the other one out in this direction. You point to Lagmanu in the direction of the camp. And that means I finished everything. So back to camp. I have returned with the orc bows.
Look at these things.
I knew the orcs cared little for the craft of bow making, but I didn't expect them to be this crude. It's a wonder that these bows do not fall apart in their filthy hands. Still, an arrow fired from one of these can still kill. We had best not forget that. I can't bear to handle these bows any longer, Pinelore. Take them and throw them into the fire over there. The orcs will learn loose no more arrows in the Rohirrim from these crude things. Oh, and one more thing. Do not burn these bows in any of the cook fires. That would simply be offensive. Make sure that the fire that you choose is not being used to cook someone's meal. Okay. So that means we'll just use this one. Yeah, I don't see any cooking pots here or anything like that. So here we go.
Even the smoke of the burning smells foul.
Thank you for helping to destroy these crude bows. Every blow to the orcs helps our chances of surviving here in the East Wall. That's their main goal, is to survive.
I've been known to lose my temper on occasion. It is true.
Oh, what happened? Yes, I know that I seem level-headed, as fine an example of a steadfast man, Rohan, as you could hope to meet. But I have a secret. I have been known to lose my temper on occasion. Nay, look not with any disbelief. It appears that we would not be able to hold out against the orcs that had ambushed us upon arriving in the East Wall, but we had prevailed. As the orcs broke and fled for the safety of their trees, I loosed my priced red-fletched arrow at an orc retreating back. I didn't need to loose, but I was angered. I let that arrow fly and saw it pierce him in the leg. But he didn't fall. He kept running, and he took my prized arrow with him. Some people just love their prized arrows, don't they? He ran to the South Pinelore. Perhaps he followed the streams that flow out the back into the East Wall, using them as guidance. Go that way and find his body, for surely he succumbed to his injuries by now, and retrieved my prized arrow. Okay, fine. I will look for your prized arrow. What else have we got here? What about him? Oh, yes. I managed to recover your friends.
You found my friends.
Ah, good. Langmanu and Swiftleech are both fine and found their way back here, thanks to you. It seems to me that you are a good hobbit to have around. All right.
It is my duty to see to the needs of our horses.
That explains a lot. It is a task that I relish, for I know its importance. The succeed in our mission depends, in no small part, to our horses. When Longman and Swiftleaf fled from the orcs, their saddling must have fallen from their backs. They didn't return with them. I kept much of their feed in those bags. Search the woods between the Kiss camp and where you found my friends southeast of here for the fallen saddlebags. Oh, and food is not enough. They will need water as well, but I don't trust the streams over here. Too many orc boots are muddying these waters. You saw a waterfall on your way to rescuing my friends? I know, but there are a lot of dead orcs flowing in that stream. If you follow the river upstream, though, where the water flows from much higher ground, perhaps you can get fresh water from the waterfall before it flows past those bodies. Take this water skin and fill it with at that waterfall. That way, my friends will have fresh, clean water to drink. Okie dokie. I suppose I can do that. Oh, and we have oh yes, right. I needed to kill
Very
orcs.
good. An enemy of the orcs is a friend of mine.
There is more to be done, however. Oh, what's that?
These searchers are looking for something.
Yes, orcs are mindless and bloodthirsty, and I have fought enough of those villains to know what drives them. They are simple creatures, driven only by hatred for the good people of the Mark. A shadow crosses Mansig's honest face, and he pauses. And yet, there is something unusual about these orcs, something I have not seen before. My scouts report that they have seen orcs crouched in the woods, clearly looking for signs of something. It's not the location of my camp, for they already know where that is. Nay, they seek something else. Find these searchers and defeat them, Pinelore. If there is something that the orcs want to find, it is important to my men that my homeland that they will not find it. All right, I shall do so. And finally, the arrows.
Let me see the arrows you have collected.
Ah, yes, this is what I suspected. Wilfred holds out a pair of short arrows for you to inspect. The length of this shaft is a clue to its origin. This arrow was designed to fly a short distance and fairly accurately. It is of the types used by orcs of Mordor and is primarily a skirmisher's arrow. It is well suited in combat amongst the trees of the east wall, and would be less of a threat upon the plains of Rohan. The danger of the orc who fires this arrow is in the danger of surprise. If you know that he's there, he will be less effective. Wilford presents you a pair of much longer arrows. These arrows are more troubling. The length of this arrow tells me that it is used with a much larger bow, drawn by a stronger arm. The Uruk that fires this arrow expects it to be much further than those fired by his orc brothers. This is an arrow ideal for combat on the plains of my homeland, and I fear that it was designed for that purpose. Okay.
Is it possible for the various tribes of Orc and Uruk to work together, as men do?
They may not be working together, Pinelore, but the various tribes of orcs and uruks here in the East Wall are each other's enemies. Yes. It is possible for them to set aside their differences and work together as men do. I'm afraid that it is. We must oppose them at all costs, whatever we can. During the orc ambush, they greeted us shortly after we arrived here. I saw an orc from Mordor carrying a high-quality sword. It was not of orc made. Their weapons are crude and ugly, but this blade caught the light and seemed to shine as the orc sprung it from around him in deadly arcs. It is not right for such a weapon to languish in the hands of an orc. I didn't see their orc after the battle, but so he must have escaped into the east wall somewhere. Find him and take the sword from him, Pinelore. Many of the retreating orcs fled to the northeast. Begin your search there, at the camp of the mortal orcs have established between here and the wold. Very well. I shall do all four of these tasks when I return for the next episode of Lore of the Shadow.